Welcome everyone to the Fouad Abiad Media channel, and today I'm joined by the Nigerian Lion, or the new nickname Samson the Great. I think which nickname do you prefer, the Samson the Great or the Lion?
I can pick my own nickname, man. People give you a nickname. So.
Samson the Great. It sounds. It's your rest day today, correct?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Friday.
We are 20 days out to the 2023 Mr. Olympia.
Oh, yeah.
And you are, if not, definitely the top 3 favorite going into this Olympia in your second year. Second. Phil Heath wasn't the favorite in his second year. Ronnie Coleman wasn't the favorite in his second year. It's guys like Flex Wheeler and that type of Lee Haney was.
Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah.
How does it feel?
Man, I haven't even actually thought about that. I didn't, something that haven't even crossed my mind that much. It's just, now that you said it, it's the first time I actually realized, oh shit, yeah. It's something that is, it's crazy. It's crazy, I mean, you spend more time focusing on the goal and what you have to do. You don't actually stop to take it all on board, because I remember the other day, I think Dennis James asked me, going, you do realize it's your second Mr. Olympia and you're already being talked about to be one of the top 3 to win. He goes, how does that feel? And I just stopped and goes, yeah, it's another thing that you don't, it's crazy. It's crazy when you put it that way, but you're so focused on just completing the goal and achieving it that you actually don't take the time to say, you know what, justify that you're in this position already is already something that is unique, something that hasn't been done before. So yeah, I think when it's over, then I will come back and reflect on it. But when it's happening, you're just so focused on what you need to do that's in front of you, so you don't really think about
it. Everyone's talked about the success stories. We people, you've done many interviews with that. We know where you came from, normal job, big to the big money player you are now. Good. Yeah. But when you do those early mornings cardios, we see in your stories every day, what's going through your mind during those cardio? It's only you and the cardio machine. What do you think about now, 20 days out?
Man, you know what? Because I've been saying, the last few days, man, especially this week, where I've been finding it even hard to sleep, because the same thing runs through my mind. I break down every single aspect of everything that I need to do, everything I need to do on stage, every moment of it between now and then. I break down everything, and it just goes over and over. So most of the time, I'm awake before the clock actually wakes me up to do cardio. Most of the time, I'm laying in bed looking, going, okay, I got 30 minutes. I got to get up and go do cardio in a minute. And it's like 6 a.m. in the morning. I'm wide awake, ready to go, and I'm egging to go. And it's got this hunger there. And I jump on that cardio machine, and it's like, okay, here we go, time to work. And you constantly, you're doing this whole thing for hours, doing all the cardio, and you just concentrate on everything. Why you're feeling what you're doing, why you're doing what you're doing, and what you want to achieve. And it just makes me hungry, man. I started there, I watch motivational videos. I've been following Mike Tyson this year, and just his mentality when he was at his prime, and that ferocious idea of going after something and believing without any doubt that you're going to get it, is that mentality that's just overwhelming me right now.
When you were doing your cardio sessions for your Romania Pro 2018 not last call out, but 10th place type of guy, did you have those same type of belief doing the cardio then, or is it different now?
No, it's different, man, because back then you're still a young gun, you're still testing over, you're still in the mindset of, okay, I just want to do my best. I want to do my best, and hopefully my best is good enough, and you still have that kind of mindset. But now, with years gone by, and you've have that more confirmation of what you're capable of, what you are, and what you can achieve. You have more of a confirmation of it, especially after winning the Arnold. It's no longer a case of, man, I hope my best is good enough. Nice, I know my best is good enough. And if they think that they've seen the best of me, you wait and see what's coming. So there's a lot more confidence when you're doing that cardio now, because you know what you're about to unleash,
The improvements we've seen from show to show to show, it's very, some people might put some filters on, some people might do it after the gym in the pump. Yeah. you can not only see it in the lead-up pics, but every show you can post those pictures from, you know, Boston to the Olympia to the Arnold, and give us 3 lessons that for bodybuilders that are listening to this, what's the 3 most important things you believe that's made you to make these type of improvements that we haven't seen in bodybuilding? I can't remember the last time, and I've seen it all. Those type of improvements. Give us 3 things to learn from this.
One thing, you know, it starts right from the minute I finished my last show of that season. I understand the idea of you have one body and it's not going to last forever, and you're trying to stretch it out and do what you can to have a long career. So I take a long break off. I give myself a proper rest post-show. I let my body actually recover and let my system get cleaned out and everything else. And I know that has always worked amazing, because I learned that right from the minute when I started this game. I learned that right from the minute that you got to give yourself a time off. And yeah, it feels like crap, but you need to do that. It's just,
you go off everything. You got to give your body to be your body. You know, it's your body. It knows what it's doing. You got to give it a chance for it to catch up. You can't beat it from both ends constantly and expect it to still be there or still respond over and over, because most of the time when people don't respond the same way and they go, man, I prepped earlier this year, I peaked, you know, in May. Why can't I peak for the Olympia and come December or November? My body's not responding. So I was like, yeah, you don't give it a rest. You can't burn at it full swing and just expect it to keep giving you what you want. You have to give it a break. And that's one of the things that has always been a big deal for me, is always having that. So that's my number one thing right there. And do you train the same and eat the same? Or do you
always. I don't change. And, you know, another thing is this idea, you know, when, you know, I always say I have 2 seasons. I'm either growing or I'm shredding for a show. There is no in between.
No.
You know, literally, even when the minute I get off stage to the minute next show, even when I take a break, I'm still using it as a growth phase. I'm still growing. I'm still trying to eat the same food, eat as much food as I can to get my body to grow. When it comes to a proper off season, you know, some guys, they understand the off season as being off. Like, okay, off, it means I don't have to train every day. I don't have to eat the scheduled meals. I don't have to do, you know, all the things I have to do to be a pro, but I can take some time, you know, go on holiday and stuff like that. I don't work that way. My off season is exactly the same mentality as my prep. The only difference is I get more food. Everything is precise to schedule all year round. Meals, bang on, schedule all year round. Everything all year round. If I got to push in heavy calories, it's like clockwork. So when I do have off season, I understand I'm trying to grow this physique. And that's all my focus is. Yes, I still have time with my family. I still do all that. But guess what? I still got to train. I still got to eat my meals. And I take it with me. And I find a way, because I think maybe this is something that came from when I was always working full time. I learned to schedule my day precisely. So when I finally got to do this as my main job, it was easy for me to say, okay, well, this is this. You got a lot more time to yourself now. Now put all your focus on this and be to a schedule. So for me, you know, having those times after a show, the off season, the pre-show, all that is about growing. And that's why majority of my time, I always change so drastically in a very short time.
So that's, you go off completely. The off seasoning is planned. A little bit about the training. You've been now, before the beginning, you were known as the beautiful poser.
Yeah.
And that's okay, but it's more pride now. You're known for your smart, precise training. Give us some tips or mindset about that. And what does that mean?
You know, I'm old school, man. I'm high volume, and I take it to the extreme. You know, and you know, the idea is, as soon as people hear high volume, they think lots of reps and maybe moderate weight or something like that. Look, I picked up a lot from watching the old school guys. I picked up a lot from watching someone like running trains. As many sets and reps as you can with as heavy weight you can lift. And you beat your body the hell to shit in the gym. And that's what I do. So when we say high volume, it doesn't mean that I'm backing off on the same maximum weight I can lift for 10 reps. I'm doing that and I'm supersetting with something else. And I'm keeping my break extremely short and burning myself out, really going at it full force. So it's the idea of lifting an extremely heavy weight for just not for just 8 reps, but for the full amount, putting it down, picking up on another extremely heavy weight, and doing the same again without break. So my training style is that extreme and that brutal and that intense. And this is one of the reasons that we grow the way we do.
The concern or the feedback that needed to be brought up was first in body parts was the back. Yeah. You trained for a long time. You've been in the gym for a long time. How did it, not magically, but how did it all of a sudden the last year, 2 years? Because a lot of people, I don't want to mention name, has had a weaker body part and they know it, but they can't fix it. And we know many guys at the Olympia stage with this problem. But with you, you're fixing it, and it's, of course, it's going to get even better. But how did you all of a sudden just discover this secret?
It's not a secret, man. I'm just open-minded. I adapt. I learn. I don't, come on, man. I'm a young gun. I'm starting this thing. I didn't start bodybuilding too long ago. And I started, the first thing I did when I started bodybuilding was shut your mouth and listen. Don't try to give your opinion. Don't try to say, oh, I read a book that said this, or this guy said that. When you're in presence of anybody that knows more than you do, or have done this longer than you do, zip it and listen. Pick out what tips you can from it. So when we had a few years ago, I started listening. When they say, okay, you got to bring up your back, you got to, so I went off and I trained with guys. I trained with people that I know that they had great backs and they had the talent for that. I trained with Nick. He taught me a lot on how to train back. This was
Nick Walker, correct?
Yeah. Yep. This was back in 2021. He taught me how to, I trained with Kamal. He taught me how to train back. I trained with Fouad. They taught me things I was missing. I trained with a lot of guys and I listen. I don't try to come in there and flex my ego and be like, yeah, I'm training with the back. I'll try to be big myself. Come on, man. You don't need all that. You need to shut up and listen. And I listened and I picked up on tips. And now what you're seeing is the results of all those little tips I picked up on this guy and that guy, bringing it all together. My physique, now I'm able to improve on it because of learning from the best.
Hadi Chupan, incredible condition, correct? You've seen him up close.
Oh yeah.
This is a hard look we don't see every day, correct?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
People said if you can bring better condition, I remember Bob Ciccarello said if you bring 5% better conditioning, you are the man to beat. Hadi, what have you done for this prep differently? And how is your condition this prep compared to, let's just say, the Arnold? That was a very good condition.
So, if you go, as you say, if you go back to look at all my shows, every show I get better. With every show, size improve, muscle density improve, conditioning improve. Every show we get better, because one thing we always do is we keep a record of everything we did for the previous show. And then when we're about to start a new prep, we go back to look at that and we compare what we do and we adapt and we make it better. This is what happened between the Olympia and the Arnold in 11 weeks. People they didn't think someone could change that much in just a short time. Well, went back to look at Olympia. I looked at the mistakes we made. I looked at how much better we can make it and things that we haven't tried. And I implemented that. And that's a look you then got from the Arnold. Now, same thing with Arnold. There's a lot of mistakes we could have made. There's a lot of mistakes we made that we want to fix. And we went in there, we looked at it, we analyzed it, and we come in here, we fix those mistakes. We were like, okay, we need to get you in shape early. And then grind it away slowly for weeks and weeks on end. So when I posted a picture of me 6 weeks out, standing next to Michael Dabu, and everybody was looking, go, wow, you're already dry and hard and grainy. I was like, yeah, because we wanted to start early. So then from that point on, we have 6 more weeks of really grinding out the details. And that's exactly what's happening. And that's why I'm already, when they say, oh, you're going to be 5% better than the Arnold, I'm like, well, more like 20%.
So we can confirm the Arnold conditioning and this conditioning, you already beaten this conditioning, or?
Oh yeah, man, I beat Arnold conditioning when I was 6 weeks out.
So that's guaranteed.
Oh, we'll see. There's nothing more to it. And for me, I'm a man of few words, man. I just rather show you.
There is a talk after the Arnold Classic.
Yeah.
That this aesthetics is here now with yourself and Andrew Jack.
Yeah.
Also Derek Lunsford there. Are we 100% sure? Like, is this a different? Because when you went in versus Nick Walker, although you were confident, many people were saying, oh, Nick Walker's going to win. He's a freak. He's a mass monster, and blah, blah, blah. And then this happened and people saying aesthetics. Yeah. What are you thinking? Is this something you legit, was that just because you were just better than him that day? Or do you think there is a new change with this aesthetics thing?
Because the thing is, it's about ticking boxes, man, because people tend to think that conditioning wins everything. And they don't know bodybuilding is more than that. I mean, you listen to the feedback from the judges after the honor, they told you guys how it is. Shape, size, symmetry, conditioning, you know, muscle density, all that plays a part. So if you, the athlete that ticks the most boxes wins. It's that easy to sort of analyze. But if you sort of focus only because you focus on muscle mass and conditioning alone, and you ignore the fact of symmetry and shape and size, all of a sudden you're missing a very big part of the judging panel. So people need to understand the way shows are judged, especially when you're online and you just listen to the same thing where they just think, oh, striated glutes means that you're conditioned, everything else don't matter. Yeah, you're going to be in for a shock. You're going to get it wrong every time. A lot of things come together to make bodybuilding. Bodybuilding isn't just, especially the direction bodybuilding is going, isn't just the most massive guy with the most conditioned wins. If that's the case, the show will be won right from when the guys step out. There's no need for quarter turns, no need for poses. He'd be like, well, who's the biggest guy? Okay, he's the biggest with most conditioned, and he's win. It doesn't work that way. So going off that is, you got to understand, okay, when we train our physique to bring our best package to the stage, we're not just looking at one thing. We're not just like, okay, you just got to be conditioned, that's it. Or you just got to be big and that's it. We're going, okay, every muscle group, are they all symmetrical? Are they all built the same? Are they matching? Are they flowing? Are you know, and then density has to be there. And then flow has to be there. And then conditioning has to be there with the size and everything else. So all this becomes what builds your physique on stage, what gives you that look on stage. So when you go in there, you might not score 10 in conditioning. You might not score 10 in shape. You might not score 10 in muscle maturity. But if you score an 8 on every single one of them and someone else doesn't, you end up with a winning spot. So people need to understand how shows are judged and how bodybuilding is looked at.
You're known for being a confident but humble man. You say you're learning from people and you're ready to adapt. Usually a lot of bodybuilders, they DM me all the time, you know, amateurs, things like this. Oh, what should I do? What do you think about this, that? Everybody has an opinion. Girlfriend, coaches, YouTubers, expert, whatever. But the most important one is the judges. You went to Tyler Mannion and Mr. Jim Mannion in Pittsburgh. What did they tell you? And what did you learn?
You know, they've judged me. Tyler was the one who judged my very first pro show, Prague in 2018. Steve Weinberger was with him. They sat next to him and they judged my pro show. And they told me then back in 2018, look, we just need you to get bigger, but don't lose that shape. Don't lose that waist. So every year we've done that. We've kept our shape. We kept our waist. We kept our lines. And we're going time and time again. So when you're in this position now where you're thinking, okay, we're about to break into the ultimate level, who else is better to go get an opinion from than the people that have seen you grow and know what they're looking for? So it was like, for me, it was like, this is a no-brainer. If you get an opportunity to go speak to them and have them look at you now, especially when you're so close, and tell you, okay, we need you to work on this, we need to work on that, you need to change this. That's exactly what you need to hear. That's exactly what your homework is. So when you go home, you don't have to guess. You don't have to ask your friends or ask this coach for opinion or ask that person for their opinion or what they think you need to work on or what they think your physique should do. You don't need, you have to right from the horse's mouth. This, we need to work this, we need to work on that, we need to, and you'd be like, okay, I know exactly why. You write it on your fridge, you write it on paper, and you go, okay, those are the things I need, they ask me to work on, and you get to working. And this is something that is, I mean, for me, I think it was a no-brainer. It's something simple to learn. You listen to the people that are going to judge you to tell you what they want to see, and you work off that. So that's what we've done. When we went to see the judges earlier in this year, or in this prep, they told me exactly what they want to see and exactly what they want me to see improved and what they want me to bring to the Olympia. And, you know, it was quite evident. And I was like, okay, that's exactly what I need to do. So that's what we've just been working on, you know.
And also there will be some changing in posing, correct? Without saying exactly what it is.
Obviously, yes, obviously, you know, there's a way, where, especially now, you know, I think you had a Texas, you had a future where Tyler break down the posing and the way guys, what they're looking for when the judges look at a posing. Now, we all have our opinion of what we like to see in a pose. You know, some guys prefer to hit a pose this way. Some guys prefer to hit the pose that way. Some people like it. Some people don't. Some people like you to pose more aesthetically. Some people want you to pose more like a mass monster. Some people want. We all have our opinion, but at the end of the day, there's only one opinion that actually matters: the ones of the judges. So when I went up to them and they said, "Okay, this is the way we want you to hit this pose. This is the way we want to see you hit this pose." Guess what? So now that's my homework. That's part of my homework. I got to practice that pose. It doesn't matter what anybody else says from that point. They've told me this is what they want to see when I hit this pose, and this is the way they want it. That's exactly how I do it.
Guys, sadly, we won't see the oblique most we wait for that. But hopefully you can do it in the post down. But there is a post that I like that we won't be seeing.
You still got the free posing, right? You still got the free posing, and that's what we're known for.
So for fans of Samson Dauda, now you've heard back is improved, conditioning is already beat, and the poses the judges wanted seeming is going to come. So all those three things, it's a recipe for winning the Olympia. Oh, anyway, some personal things. You're an immigrant from Nigeria to the UK. Sometimes I feel you haven't gotten maybe quite the respect in the UK that you probably deserve.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I got a lot of support from the UK, man. Honestly, I got a lot of people behind me here in the UK. Remember, even though, you know, I'm from Nigeria and I've lived here since I was a child, you know, I grew up learning bodybuilding here. This UK showed me how to be a bodybuilder. They showed me what this is, you know. And just like everybody that lived here, you know, we had Dorian, you know. Dorian was the last Mr Olympia. It was only Mr Olympia from the UK. And he had that mentality that I loved the most. The idea of the shadow is what he was. And that's exactly what I love the most about Dorian, you know. You know, I've had it so many times, you know, people ask me, oh, do I want to move to the States? Do I want to move to the States? I want to move here. And I said to him, no, because I like the idea of me being able to stay out my lane, stay out of the way, stay out of the limelight, stay here in the UK, close the doors, cut the blinders on, beat things up, train to my hardest, and then come out and whip ass on stage. So I like that. So for me, you know, UK has supported me to be that way. UK has stand behind me like that, just like we recognize that as this is the Dorian thing. This is how we do it. So yeah, man, yeah, I've got a lot of support from the UK, man. I mean, not as crazy as Iran and India, you know, those guys over there in the Middle East, how they get their guys freaking.
But I want to see the front page. I want to see the front page of the newspaper. I, mean, I want to see the
those guys, man, they love, you know, yeah, I know, man. Oh man. You know, it's still there because, you know, it's still subdued, but it's there, and I get the messages all the time, you know. So for me, you know, hell, it's all love.
So you're doing it for the UK and Nigeria. You're split 50-50.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You know, born in Nigeria, from home in Nigeria. I get a lot of boys that are back home that are watching bodybuilding. They don't have the opportunity to do what I've done. You know, they don't have the ability to come get this far or to do the sport in this way. But they're motivated by and they're inspired by what I'm doing. And you know what? If that's something I can do is inspire those people that are in my position to know that there's a way of getting here or doing something like this that they love, then you know what? Thank you for that.
Samson Dauda fans, usually when we go to bed at night and we dream about you in the middle, and we dream about Derek and Samson and Derek and Hardy on each side. You respect them both, great athletes. What do you have that they don't have?
Well, for one thing, I have the height, the size, the symmetry, the presentation. You know, I mean, like, you know, like you said, I respect both of them. I respect all the guys in there because I know that if I'm working this hard, they're working just as hard as I am. There's no doubt that you don't make it to this level in the sport if you don't train hard. So everybody will say, oh, they train hard, but everybody trains hard. You don't get to this place if you don't. You're not going to tiptoe your way here. You have to train hard to do. So I respect them. But the thing is, this is the open class, baby. And the big man, the tall mass monster, he's the boss. So that's what we're bringing.
Yes, that's the great Joe Weider often said to Arnold Schwarzenegger, a great big man will always beat the great little man, correct?
There you go.
There you go. Are those the two guys? It doesn't really. Are those the two guys, if you had to put money on it, you'd expect to see in the top three? Or do you see someone?
Honestly, I think it's anybody's game. You know, everybody always, they ask me about who do I feel threatened by the most. And I say everybody. Because like I said before, we all are at this level. We're all close. The gap isn't that wide. Anybody could slip up on the day. Anybody could step up on the day. So it can all change in a blink of an eye. You can literally change. You could have a call out one way to begin the show, and by the end of the night, everybody switch. Someone else is coming because guys are faded in and guys are faded out. So it's that dangerous at this level. It's that close. So when I said going to the Olympia, I'm not just thinking about two guys or the guys behind me. I'm thinking about everybody. Okay, right. What do I have that they don't? And what can I bring to the table that they can't? And what can I do that they ain't? So this is my mentality, and that's how I got to watch out for everybody, always.
I can't believe it, Samson. We're going into the Olympia as the favorite, huh? This is crazy. Huh?
Oh,
this is what changed? Well,
I mean, it's insane. I mean, to give it 3 years ago, what were we?
Whoa.
And yeah, even man, even 2 years ago, like even
2 years ago,
who would have said this? You know, a year ago, if I had sat here and told you, okay, I'm going to win the Arnold Classic next year, you would smile and
say, yeah, well, let's see.
Yeah, well, yeah, good to have dreams, you know. But this is what it is, man. That blind, crazy, stubborn optimism of believing that you can achieve something that's impossible and going after it over and over and over, even when you fail, but yet just smile and carry on pushing. That's what's got us here. You know, we felt so many times, honestly, we've fallen so many times, and so many times we've been counted out and said, no, we don't have it and everything else. But we kept on coming. We kept on coming because of that blind optimism, that just ridiculous, stubborn optimism that go after again and again and again. And now we're here. You know, they say we started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Because you almost quit bodybuilding, correct?
Oh, yeah. Of course. 2020, you know, after a long, hard year for looking for shows and stuck in Korea and Corona and everything else, you know, I literally looked at it and go, you know what, maybe, you know, this sport isn't for me. Maybe I'm not meant to be this guy. Maybe I'm not meant to have it. And I basically said, look, if it doesn't work out this year, then I'm going to go back to my job and try something else. I'm going to just have to give it up and try to focus my energy on something else. And, you know, after failing, you're at that fisherman crest road where it's like, this is a turning point. You either choose to try one more time or you call it quits. And 2020 was going to be that time. And I was about to call it quit. And personally, I already made a decision to call it quit, you know, but, you know, I spoke to my wife, you know, I spoke to friends. I spoke to people that watched me struggle year after year after year to try to achieve this goal. And they said to me, you know what, just give it one more year. Just come on, man, you can do it. Just one more year. Go on, just give it one more year. We think that you can make it this time. And then we walked into 2021. I had my sponsor with me, HOSSTILE Fouad. He's like, you know what? I think what you just need was just someone, you know, someone to stand in your corner and tell you what you're doing wrong and show you another way and teach you for you to learn from it. So, you know, he introduced me to John. I had an off season throughout the whole period of early 2021 with John.
John Meadows, everyone, the late great John Meadows, yeah.
Yep, I had an off season with him. He taught me a lot. We started growing crazily. You know, we go, okay, this is different. This is definitely interesting. And then we started prepping for the Arnold UK, which was just really, I think it's 3 weeks after the Olympia at that time. So we kind of started prepping for that 8 weeks out from the Arnold UK. Unfortunately, John passed away. And from that point on, you know, I hooked up with Milos, and Milos basically he heard from John and he's like, yeah, okay. So we started working together. And then we did 5 shows back to back that year, you know, 5 shows back to back, just trying to qualify for the Olympia, for 2022 Olympia. And we literally just think, okay, you know, we just need to get one to qualify, or if not, make enough points to qualify. This is our mindset. If you think about this, is just 21, that's our mindset was, you know, just make enough points then. So we did every single show, post all the European tour. We did every show going at that point. And then eventually, 4 shows in, we won Prague. And at that point, I was just like, man, I've achieved my life dream, man. I've achieved my goal. I'm going to get to stand on the Olympia stage. Yeah, well, that was the end of 2021. Little did I know that come less than 6 months later, I'm being talked about as one of the top 5 at the Olympia. You know, one of the guys, the first call out at the 2022 Olympia. Olympia, that I was just thinking, I just want to be glad to say I stand on stage. I just want to be the guy that is at the back and just say, yeah, I made it. I stood on the Olympia stage. That was all I was hoping for, to be that guy for my first Olympia. I was just thinking, yeah, just be that guy, just smiling.
My favorite moment, Samson, is when you stepped up against Big Ramy for the first time. I was like, oh! And people were like, why is he taking out Ramy? What's going on? I'm like, what? I don't have no idea. Can you feel it when you went out? Like, I'm taking this guy.
Honestly, it was weird. It was a weird thing for me because we had a great off season. We put on 30 pounds in the off season.
Yes, yes.
And you know, working with Coach Milos, Milos is a freaking madman. He's a wizard. So we put on 30 pounds that off season, and he just knew my body. So we started prepping down. I'm like, well, I'm 330 pounds. I've never been even close to being that heavy. So we started coming down and coming down. You know me, I don't check my weight doing prep.
No.
I've never checked my weight doing prep. I just don't do it.
So now we don't know how much you weigh, correct? Because you haven't checked.
No, I have no idea whatsoever. So we're coming down, and you know, I'm thinking, you know, I know that I'm dieting. I know I'm coming, but I don't feel small. You know, I'm wearing my off-season tops and everything, and they still feel fit. I'm thinking, I don't feel as small as I thought I would. I've never been this big before. So I think even then, you know, when we went to the show, we went to the athletes meeting, and I remember seeing, like I said, when we did 5 shows back to back, one of the shows we did was in Egypt, and Big Ramy came out to give out the award on stage, and I remember seeing him thinking, that's a big man. That's why they
both legs.
Why they call it Ramy. Yeah, you know. So come the Olympia, and you know, we're getting our numbers and everything else, and I'm standing next to the king himself, man. I'm standing next to him. So automatically I'm thinking, holy shit, okay, this is the Olympia debut. This is a lot to ask for.
Yeah.
So when we came out and we did the first group came out, or one of the last group that came out, and I'm standing next to him. My one was just like, you know what, just don't back down, go at it, come on, you fought for this, be here, earn your rights to be here. So went through the posing and everything else, and I didn't know at the time, you know, I wasn't aware, you know. So when I came off backstage and after prejudging, people, you know, made the first call, I'm thinking, wow. Then I saw the videos. And I saw everybody was like, yeah, we just saw what we just saw. And then that's when it started changing my mind and my belief of thinking, holy shit, okay, that's a surprise. Okay, this is real. This is happening. We are big, and you know, this is one thing we have, and we didn't sacrifice our shape or lines to achieve that either, or our waist. So now I'm like, okay, so if that can work, then it can only get better from here.
Before we go, 2 things. Why is your story so motivating for people? I think it's because that you almost gave up, but you put everything on yourself. So when we see the new home, you just bought a new home again. We see the nice cars. We see the Arnold Schwarzenegger giving you the thing. We're not thinking, oh, look at this. We're thinking, oh, we want to become the same. I remember myself, I almost gave up being in the bodybuilding media myself because I live in a country with really no bodybuilding, and now I'm here with the Fouad Abiad channel. Your story, Samson, it really relates to everyone that's fighting for what they believe in, but the point is, usually not everyone makes it, but you are making it now, and all your fans, we are part of your journey. We see it, and you make us believe we can do anything.
I mean, so, honestly, I'm really grateful for that. I'm really proud of, you know, having that moment. And you know what, for me, it feels like it's a road to riches story, right? The rags to riches story. I remember being in my old job and so grinding for this goal. And I remember at a time that I didn't know it was possible because I haven't seen anybody done it especially being from the UK, being at ground up and actually coming all the way in it. Dorian and Flex was the only one that did it. And they saw what such a long time back, the one with the current era with social media and everything else. So I didn't know of anybody to sort of look to and say, okay, how is it even possible? So it's just the idea of believing that you can do it regardless and just keep going at it over and over and over again and being stubborn enough to believe that it can be done. And I believe, like, you know, like I said, it got to the point where it was so hard, I even thought, okay, it's not possible, I'm going to give up myself. But then after just giving it one more try and seeing the success that comes from it, I now want to be in a position to tell other people that, look, no, I've been in your position. I've been there. And I know what it feels like to be there and be struggling every day and grinding there and thinking, is this actually worth it? Am I wasting my time here? But you know, one thing my wife always told me is this: is like, what will make you happier if you just give up now and be like, well, that's the end of it, and move on to something else, or you keep trying, and you at the end of the journey you say, well, I know for a fact I tried everything, and if it didn't work, I tried everything. There's no regrets. What would make you happy when you get older? Would you sit there and go, well, you know, I could have made it if I stuck it out, I maybe would have, maybe wouldn't have? Or would you be more happy saying, well, even though if I failed, I know I gave everything to make it happen. I tried everything. So, and I stopped and I thought about it, going, yeah, you know what? I want to be that guy that said, even win, lose or draw, fail or not, I want to be able to look back and go, I did everything in my power to try to make this work. I tried everything in my power to try to get my dream. And it just happens to be that I got the chance to achieve it. So now I can stand there and go, yeah, put my hands up high and going, wow, it is doable. You just have to try. You just have to believe you can.
Last thing, talk to us quickly. Fouad, the HOSSTILE crew, all the big stars were there. Now you are the main big man representing HOSSTILE. What does it mean to go into Olympia representing the best supplement?
You know what? Once again, I'm doing I think it's my 4th big show underneath HOSSTILE banner.
Yeah.
Done 2 Arnold, and now doing my 2nd Olympia under the HOSSTILE banner. And honestly, they have been the biggest support ever. I mean, my life changed the minute they came into it. They gave me an opportunity. They were basically my saving grace, man. You know, when you're kind of in that position where you're just hoping for someone to give you a try, just give me a chance to prove my worth, give me a chance to show you that I do work hard, I do train hard, I do everything. I just need that opportunity. And to be the first company that says, you know, I reached out to a lot of companies and I got shut down. They didn't want to know. They, well, you don't have enough following. Well, you haven't won a pro show yet. Well, you haven't. They gave all the same excuse you sort of have now, you know. And I was like, okay, but to have one that says, you know what? Yeah, we see you grinding. We see what you're doing. Yeah, let's give you a chance. We'll give you a shot. You know, I took that. They gave me that little chance, and I took it and I ran with it. I was like, yeah, I'm going all the way to the top with this opportunity. You know, so for them to take that chance on somebody that didn't have any name, was here in the UK, wasn't known, didn't have anything going for him. You literally just looked at him and go, well, he's got potential in his physique, but a lot of people have potential, you know. But what else is it? For them to come out of the way and for Fouad and someone to give me a chance and say, okay, you know, and see something. Honestly, I can't be grateful to them enough. Honestly, I just can't.
After this Olympia, answer just one question.
Yeah.
Where will Samson Dauda place at this Olympia? Say it.
Oh man, I'm only going for one spot only, number 1.
And there you go.
Number 1.
Good luck, safe flight, and we will be looking at your Instagram for updates and everything. And it's time to become legendary, Samson.
Damn right. Thank you very much, man. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.